The scene is set for Perth by night. We start off with Jackson Archer making his way up the elevator towards the apartment of his ghoul by the name of Dextra. Having been getting closer and closer to his ghoul over the past few nights, he's noticed her attitude and disposition to him is a bit more augmented since she took the second drink of blood from him. And he's a bit wary about giving her the third drink, but knowing that it's inevitable if she's to remain as she is. He makes his way to the door, and having a quick roll for a ritual that he would have done before making his way up there, he will be rolling for Domino of Life, which is an intelligence plus occult roll. Difficulty, I believe, is 4. So that was 6 dice. And he resoundingly succeeds, making his flesh tone rather warm to maintain a normal body temperature for the rest of the evening. He finally comes to the door and just simply knocks a few times and waits to be let in.
Dextra will bounce over towards the door, opening it while looking rather excited about something.
Jack just stands there for a moment with a quizzical look on his face as one arm remains looped in the laptop bag, and he just turns his head to one side. What are you all a fluster about?
There's a new expansion.
Oh, for what? He says as he takes a step inside and closes the door behind him.
Well, they're bringing out new expansions for the Dragon Realm.
Right. Oh, right. The game that you were telling me about. And I'm guessing you're looking forward, probably beta access, something of that nature?
Oh, yes. I'm in the alpha access.
Oh, okay. For his part, the computer gaming world is not one that he gets too deep into, but he understands and can appreciate the excitement that comes with a new game, and feeling very privileged to be on the sort of inside track by being involved in alpha and beta tests. Jack will make his way to the couch and sit down as he pulls his bag onto his lap and begins to unpack his laptop. So, how you been? How you feeling?
I've been feeling great. I've had so much energy. It's just unbelievable.
Well, I'm glad that the treatment, he says as he does in air quotes, worked.
Thank you. I know it can't have been easy kind of coming out of the coffin and all that.
He'll kind of snort and chuckle a bit at the coming out of the coffin line. Yeah, I wasn't exactly sure how you were going to take it, and if you had not taken to it well, I think I would have had to have someone make you forget about me. That wouldn't have been... I wouldn't have liked that at all.
Hmm. Do you want to see what it's like to ride on an ice dragon?
Sure, I'd love to see it, he says.
And she will pull out her laptop rather than her main kind of power PC, and show you the various bits and bobs that have been added to the game since the last time.
Jack will lean over kind of her shoulder and look, and place his chin on her shoulder, or on her shoulder as he watches, and he kind of frowns as he watches the various pixels and how they move, and in his mind, all he can see is methods of coding and things of that nature. And he nods and raises a brow every now and then that a visual flourish does quite a bit to impress him. It's actually pretty good. Good graphical design. Many bugs.
There's a few bugs. Ended up inside a mountain once or twice.
Well, it is an alpha test.
Yeah.
Overall rating thus far?
Oh, definitely good. It's. I mean, obviously there's a couple of bugs to work out, but yeah, I can definitely see this going very well.
Well, you've probably already done it at this point, but I guess I could always look into maybe seeing if I couldn't get you a collector's edition for it.
Pre-order.
Yeah, it was a long shot, but I guess it's the thought that counts, right?
Yeah. And she'll smile quite happily.
He'll place his laptop down on the coffee table in front of them and actually slide down onto the floor, sitting between the couch and the coffee table at this point, and scooting close to the point where he's almost right up next to her, at least her knees. And he'll begin to log into his computer and log on to her Wi-Fi. So I've been thinking, we're so close to this university, and with all of the, how can I put this? With all of the data and security leaks that seem to happen all over the country and abroad, it seems like there's a market to be had there.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you can't stop everything, but some of these firewalls are just laughable.
Yes, they are, and that's kind of what I'm hoping to exploit. Um, I'm hoping that I can convince them to let me poke holes and show them where their lack of protection is.
Okay. Any
And
particular reason why the university, or?
it's just a place to start. It's close
Okay.
by, it's easy access, and, well, they aren't exactly too... You can walk up to almost any laptop in the cafeterias or the cafes around here and find somebody logged into their network.
True.
And it would be very easy to send somebody a small bit of...
Shoot them one, set up a back door, in and out in 5 seconds flat.
Pretty much. Something that will poke holes and bring attention to the holes, but not do anything malicious.
Yeah, it's a bit of a milk run, really, but sure.
But once the proverbial stuff hits the fan, I think it's very easy to ride in on a white horse, so to speak.
Of course. I mean, I could drop Benjamin a line, see if he'd call them up for you.
Well, let's first work on getting a little program put together. Something that can slip in easily and unnoticed.
I've got a couple of standard ones. I doubt their system's kind of built to defend against them.
Well, when it comes down to it, it's going to have to be something that will spread like wildfire from one
Yeah.
server to the next.
Why, you planning to try and head beyond the university?
I'm looking to get a little notoriety along the lines of a security consultant. If I can get access into public infrastructure, I might be able to help my kind out considerably without ever having to throw a punch or pull a trigger.
Yep, Benjamin's your best bet for that.
Yeah.
He runs this security consulting agency over in America, and I've freelanced for him once or twice. No, he could definitely set you up with something.
See what you can do. You know, every little bit helps, and hopefully by being able to arrive in the flesh, albeit late, and that's where you might have to come in. I can't really do anything during the day for obvious reasons.
Just rig it to have a detonate switch.
As in, what were you thinking?
Well, if the whole system was to shut down at, say, midnight,
Mm-hmm.
well, then they'd want you in the night.
Midnight gives me about 5 hours to do things.
Okay, then we set it for 9 o'clock.
That's better.
A bit more unusual, but
Well, it is after most companies probably close their doors for the evening. It might all work out, or it could all go horribly wrong either way. If it's something that I know how to contain, I can hopefully make a good enough run of it so they think that I'm doing my due diligence to get rid of it and having a tough time, but coming out on the other side sparkling.
yep. I mean, if you know where the kill switch is, it's easy to shut the program down.
This is true, but I don't want it to make it seem like, oh, I wrote
Well,
it on
no,
a white.
but they're not going to know what you're up to. Not unless you show them the screen and they happen to be able to deal with this kind of stuff themselves anyway.
True. I think I'll be. I think what I will do is maybe work up a secondary program that runs random screens and various windows that make it look like I'm far more busy than I actually am.
Yeah. All you really need for that is a screensaver.
True, but where's the heart?
Very true.
He smirks as he kind of gives her leg a nudge and then begins to type away as he brings up a base code he's been working on. And he is going to just kind of cant his head to one side to take a look at her before tapping away. And he's going to make a intelligence and computer roll with a specialty in coding. And he will roll This will be a difficulty 4. And bazinga. 1, 2, 3, 4. 8 successes. So it's one nasty little bug. As he continues to work and tap away, it takes a few hours for him to get along and get this worked up, and he finally scoots back up onto the couch and just places the laptop in Dexter's lap. What do you think?
That'll definitely do the job. In fact, it might be a bit too much for a university computer system, but you know.
Well, if nothing else, it'll make me all the more valuable when I come through.
Definitely.
Smirks.
It also means if we can't hook them up with calling us directly, then it's unlikely that the other companies will be able to deal with it. So it should give us a bell sooner or later.
Well, with any luck, hopefully it will be too tough for their local support really to do anything with, and if we're lucky, maybe when he begins to do a few alterations here and there, I have an idea of how to make this big enough that it continues to work. There we go. You see this? I can get this into their network. What it will do is it will start to leak personal information.
Who to?
I'm thinking just out there, publishing it on various forums.
Which personal information? And I mean, if the aim is to get involved, that doesn't mean you necessarily want to actually risk the students' data. Have you considered a ghost server?
That would take a good long while to set up, wouldn't it?
Not particularly.
Mm.
There's dozens in Russia that are just info sinks.
He begins to think, and he'll kind of cant his head with a sly eye aimed at her, narrowing just slightly as if to say, I should have thought of that. But he simply nods and begins to make the alterations. Do you have any IP addresses that you know of offhand?
I think it's probably a good time for a roll.
Yeah.
Because I am thinking either contacts or influence roll. What do you think?
Intelligence and computer?
Well, yeah, but intelligence and probably the contacts or influence makes more sense. Don't get me wrong, I would love intelligence plus computer, but
If you're trying to get
about
your
skill, it's about who you know, isn't it?
yeah. I think it would be your you just roll your contacts at that point.
Just the contacts?
I believe so.
Okay, well it's not that many because it's only the 2 dice of contacts. What? Weird dice stream. But I just. Where have you gone? It's hiding
If you want, I could roll for you.
from me. What is it with you, Google?
Google's still,
Yeah, it might be best if you roll it.
2 days, you said?
Yeah, because mine seems to have gone missing for some unknown reason.
This happens when Google decides it wants to update everything. So here we go. 3 and a 5. I don't know if that's a success or not. We'll find out from Kevin R. Heike at a later point.
Probably would be if it's just getting the IP address.
Yeah.
Because then you'd spend the resources on gaining access to it.
True. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could do a investigation in computer to find something, or perception in computer.
Perception computer? Yeah, that I could do. That would be 6 dice. Because we had to take the computer down to 4, didn't we?
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. And any particular specialty you have in computer?
I've got hacking.
Okay. I don't think that's going to apply here for just doing a
Nope.
basic search, but let's see them bones anyway. Ooh!
That is not good.
I'll let you describe that one.
Yeah. I think she may have come across one of her ex-boyfriends.
All right. Someone trying to break into her computer?
Yeah.
Jack will just look at
There's
her
not much
screen.
on. To be fair, she doesn't keep her laptop with anything that she actually cares about on it. She uses it for the games, which she does kind of care about, but all the info for that is kept online on their servers.
Jack will just look at her screen as it looks like someone is. Is she going to look exasperated at this point?
Oh, definitely.
He'll lean over and look at her screen and place a hand on her wrist, which she'll notice is actually very much at human temperature for a change. And he'll narrow his eyes a bit and then look to her. Trouble?
Uh, well, let's just say Justin did not take the breakup well.
Ah, right. Hmm.
And of course, he knows my firewall's better than most people.
Can I?
Yeah, sure. She'll hand over the laptop. Unfortunately, I keep the better ones on the main computer.
Well, that is probably going to work to your benefit this time. But there are a few things that I can do that most people can't.
And out of character, I'm guessing you're using Technomancer.
Probably at this point.
Yay for Technomancer! I
Yep.
like Technomancer.
Alright, let's see here. Alright. Alright. He's going to roll his willpower. spend a blood point, and he is going to use Encrypt to help seal off her computer from harm. And that's 9 dice. I do believe Thaumaturgy is to hit the difficulty. This. So power's level +3. Okay, so it'll be difficulty 6. And he will spend a willpower point on this, as it actually means something to him.
No.
Yeah, what can I say? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 successes to encrypt her computer from harm. Essentially, what she'll notice, and this is probably the first time that he has used a discipline in front of her, is he'll seem to chant a few things under his breath, muttering as his fingers begin to move a bit more quickly as he begins to type. And as he does so, the screen actually distorts, and she'll notice that there is a kind of otherworldly light coming from Jack's fingertips. And she'll notice that her computer, her laptop rather, begins to actually... She'll see marks and symbols going into coding and things of that nature that really haven't been... she's probably never seen before. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and how they're appearing in this interface is more than likely beyond her. I mean, she could make a perception and occult if she wanted to. Or perception and awareness, I mean.
Nah, not much point.
Okay. When it all is said and done, finally the intrusion seems to cease, at least for the time being. And he licks his lip one time and sets the computer back on her lap. I think that should be good enough for now.
Thanks. And she'll smile, looking a bit kind of taken aback. And she'll tap a couple of things. And then she'll be like, "That bastard!"
This is going to last, this protection is only going to last for about 2 months, I should warn you. Maybe a little over. But, I think you should be alright.
My hunter.
Your what?
He went on my cat and he deleted my hunter. Frickin' bastard.
Game stuff?
Yeah. I don't keep anything important on this computer, to be fair.
Fair enough. He looks at Dextra with a smile, and as she thanks him, he just kind of pats her on the shoulder.
It's probably the only time you've actually heard her swear.
He'll actually chuckle a bit at that and just kind of smirk and nod his head a few times, and then finally... When's the, how long ago was it when you last fed?
About a fortnight?
Well, I suppose maybe it's time we give you an upper before I head out for the evening?
Okay. You know more about this stuff than I do.
He'll mumble something about, yeah, I suppose so. And he simply reaches into his bag and pulls out the straight razor and opens it up and scooches closer to her, just like the time before, and takes the blade and runs it down the meatiest part of, or just over the bridge of his wrist, cutting vertically instead of horizontally, and then he just pulls his arm out for her.
She will not super fast, but not as definitely not as hesitantly as last time. She will lace the fingers of her the furthest hand from him through the fingers of the hand that he's cut, and the other hand will rest lightly on his elbow, and she will bend down to close her mouth gently over the wound. A bit more gently than last. Well, quite gentle last time, but still.
Jack, for his part, will kind of reciprocate with the laced fingers and actually give hers kind of a light squeeze, and she'll notice that the temperature of the blood is far more warm this time around, at the normal human body temperature, and his hand will just simply kind of run through her hair as she drinks.
She actually finds the warm blood slightly more disquieting than the cold blood. Because it's, as odd as it might sound, it feels more blood-like.
Fair enough.
Well, you think of blood, you think of it being warm.
Maybe like hot chocolate?
Yeah.
Jack will
Can
wait
you tell
until
this is the first ghoul character I've ever played?
you tell this is the first ghoul character I've ever actually had as a PC. He'll wait until she's taken a full blood point, and then finally he'll kind of gently begin to pull his arm away from her, knowing that she's just not capable of taking more, or at least as he's been told. He doesn't want to test the theory.
And she'll release it. She's not gonna kind of grab on.
Not gonna latch on like a tick. She'll, or he'll take his wrist up and just bring it up to his mouth as he licks the wound shut, and kind of smirks, or actually, he doesn't smirk. He actually smiles warmly at her. You know,
She'll smile back, feeling somewhat self-conscious.
Jack is still very unsure of himself in situations like this. Not being the most charismatic person, he just simply gives her a pat on the knee and will actually lean in and place a small peck on her forehead. You want to go out and, I don't know, dinner for you, movie for the both of us?
Sure. Sounds like a good plan.
He'll smirk and just take the bag and place it up against the table as he picks up the suit jacket and places it over his shoulder before holding an arm out for her in what he assumes is a gentlemanly fashion.
And she'll take the arm and kind of cuddle into his shoulder slightly.
Jack will then make his way to the door, allowing her to open it as he's holding the jacket with one hand and her arm with the other.
Yep. And she'll grab her small rucksack off the table on the way out, and the keys from the bowl.
And the two will head off to enjoy the rest of their evening before, well, Jack has to call it a day. And I think here we can end our scene.